You have to be completely delusional. If you want success, freedom, financial success, financial freedom, location freedom, if you want all of these things, if you want to become someone, if you want to do amazing things in your life, then you have to have a level of delusion. But you need to make sure it is the right delusion. The wrong delusion is when somebody simply says, I'm going to be successful, and one day, I'm going to change everything, and I'm going to do all of these things, but they don't act on that. They don't behave like that. The right level of delusion is simply deluding yourself into the best version of yourself, one that is disciplined, one that can attain focus, one that can be completely still in a chaotic environment, someone who can, not get distracted in a world full of dopamine. That version of yourself, you can delude yourself into becoming that version. And I think that's the difference between good delusion and bad delusion, is simply just someone saying something and not actually taking any progress or steps towards that, compared to someone simply deluding themselves into the best version of themselves by believing they can be that person. Slowly but surely, you start to actually become that person. You behave like that person. You start thinking like that person. And I don't think it's, becoming that person isn't necessarily what you do. I think it's more what you don't do. So especially in this world today, some things that would make you become that person that you don't do are, staying up late, scrolling endlessly on TikTok or Instagram, whatever, watching porn all the time, and, smoking weed or taking drugs or just smoking in general, or vaping, or like all of these things in this world where they're so easily accessible to get these quick hits of dopamine. Just simply cutting off all of that will completely change you. And I experienced that. I cut off all of those things and it completely changed me. And that is something, as an example of where you choose not to do something. You just choose to say no. You choose not to fit in where everyone is just, living for the weekend to drown themselves in alcohol and, substances. So you choose to not fit in and you say no, and you just drop the things that don't serve you anymore. And that will help you slowly become that version of yourself. So being deluded in the right direction is very important and very key towards your success and your journey. And it's okay to not fit in with the crowd. And it's okay if people won't understand you and your journey, and they have questions and they might doubt you. But the moment that those things arise shows very clearly that you are on the right path, because if you were not having people asking you, what are you doing? This doesn't make any sense. How are you going to ever make that work? If you don't have people asking you those things, it means you're probably just doing what everyone else is doing. But your path is unique. Your path is different to the normal person. And that's what makes you special, is that you have the ability to do that and do amazing things in your life. So remember that the right delusion is very important. People may misunderstand you and not fully get the vision, and that's okay also. And saying no and becoming the best version of yourself is very important. And during your journey, You may find that deciding to become this version of yourself, the best version of yourself, you may have to move on from certain people, and that's also okay, because certain people might not serve you anymore, or at least serve you in the person that you know you can become, and the person that you are becoming, the person that will genuinely achieve amazing things and do great things with his life. In that process, you might have to accept moving on from certain people, and that's just a part of your growth. So stay locked into the vision. Take the E out of emotion and stay on top of whatever your journey is.